So other than being by far the heaviest box we've ever unboxed on the channel, this box also contains some really cool things that we're going to share with you guys and will allow us to do some really cool things on this channel. But before we dive into that unboxing, first thing I want to say is thank you guys. You guys have been absolutely blowing up this channel with views, subscribers, just so many comments and so much interaction, and I really, really appreciate each and every one of you guys that are taking the time out of your day to watch these videos. None of what I'm doing would be possible without you guys, so I really, really appreciate you guys taking the time and just subscribing and watching the videos and supporting what's going on the channel, kind of following along with the Nowak Nation. I want to keep this thing rolling. If you guys aren't already subscribed, this is a smallmouth experience. We are a 100% smallmouth focused channel and just a really cool community to be a part of. So if you're not already, please hit that subscribe button. Let's keep this ball rolling, get to 50,000, 100,000 subs, and keep this thing just kind of growing and going along. Next thing, you guys are absolutely loving these tournament videos. You guys loved the tournament video that I put out the other night. You guys have been crushing on that thing, so I'm gonna keep those things rolling. I'm gonna be doing another one this Thursday, which is on a home lake, a lake that I fished a ton, but it is a largemouth specific lake. It is only largemouth in it. As we do these tournaments, you are gonna get to see how I break down bodies of water on the fly and kind of make decisions when I'm in these tournaments, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're gonna be able to always go out and fish for smallmouth bass. Another big thing is that the lakes that I was going to a lot to catch those smallmouth have basically been drained. One of the things that we had recently was that giant 500-year, 100-year flood, whatever you want to call it, and it drained all the lakes, Sanford, Wixom, Smallwood, and Secord that I normally fish. So there's no smallmouth lakes with the exception of Lake Huron within an hour and a half of my house. So I'm gonna try to do as much smallmouth fishing as possible. You're still gonna get a ton of smallmouth tips. I have a drop shot tip video, a wobblehead tip video, and a couple others that are kind of in the queue to be talked about. But I'm gonna try to do as much smallmouth fishing as I can. But as we do these tournaments and as I kind of go out and do some fun fishing, I'm gonna mix in as much information as I possibly can to help you guys be successful when you're out there in the water. It's just not gonna be as possible for me to get out and do as much smallmouth fishing as I might like, because all those lakes that I was fishing have pretty much been drained. Like, there's no access to those lakes anymore. The dams have been broken, so there's no water in those bodies of water. Now, I'm going to try to get out to the Lake Huron as much as possible. You guys know that I love that big water stuff, so there will be a lot of smallmouth stuff coming, but just kind of keep in mind that's kind of the situation, especially with the tournament stuff that you guys seem to be loving us. Now, without further ado, let's dive into this big box from Do It Molds. Now, you guys have known, or if you guys have been following along, you guys have seen me making a lot of stuff from Do It recently. I made a lot of Do It Midwest finesse heads, some drop shot sinkers, a bunch of other jigs and baits from Do It Molds. Well, this is something totally new. This is something I've never done before, and I think it could really take my fishing to the next level. So let's kind of dive into this giant box right here. Wow, that was horrendous. See what is in here, because to be honest with you guys, they didn't tell me what was coming. Don't need this, don't need this, don't need this. Heck yeah. And this is what it is right here. We are going to be doing some soft plastic bait making. This here is a bottle of crystal clear Do It Mold soft baits plastisol. This is the key ingredient that's going to be making all of these soft plastics for us. Heads up, we are going to be doing some soft bait making. Now let's get into this box here, because there's still a whole bunch of different things that we get to get out of there. There's our Do It Mold sticker, and then they sent me all of these things that are on this list and on this next sheet here. So lots of insane amounts of stuff to go through here. Let's start with the biggest box in here. Don't have any clue what's in here, as I mentioned before. Oh, Quick Coat Worm Dip Watermelon. And that is not true. That is 100% not true. They sent me a bunch of different stuff and they packed it in this box for me. This is so cool. Look at this. So my buddy Brennan, who does all the social media stuff over at Do It Molds, made me up a bait bag with a whole bunch of different stuff. Like, look at this. This is one of the swim baits that I was looking at. It's basically what it is a swim bait with like a chicken foot. Something a little bit different. He made me a whole bunch of these, bunch of different colors. That is so cool, because I was really worried, like, I don't know how this bait would pour, but he poured me up a whole bunch of these. Kind of made me a nice little assortment of colors and baits in here that I'm going to play with and try out. Well, that's pretty cool. I thought this was just going to be like plastics and everything, but sent me a bag of those little swim baits, and then he sent me some gloves. Now these are a must-have when you're pouring plastics. So I've been watching a lot of videos and been going through a lot of information on how to do this, and one of the biggest things that I think a lot of people overlook is the safety equipment. So they sent me these gloves which have that plastic coating, keeps your hands safe when you're working with that really, really hot plastic as it comes out of the oven or as it comes out of the microwave. And now we get into all of the fun stuff. Right here is our colorant. So this is a baby bass colorant. What it is like a dark green. It looks like baby bass X2 colorant. We have a Florida grape colorant, which is like a purple color. I'm assuming this is going to be like a June bug color, which is a really, really good color. You guys have seen me rant and rave over that. June bug is great for tannic style bodies of water that we have a lot of up here in Michigan. Then watermelon brown. So this watermelon brown is actually a color that I rant and raved about to Brennan. I'm like, dude, you need to try Mango Magic. And what it essentially is a dark green pumpkin or like a brownish green pumpkin with orange and gold flake. So that's one of the colors that I think he's going to help me try and figure out how to make. Then you have watermelon green, motor oil. Dude, I'm so stoked. I am literally a kid in a candy shop. This is so cool. And then pumpkin seed. So I have 6 different colors to play with. Super stoked on that. And then there's a bunch of other stuff still left in here. Plastisol stabilizer. I think I'm getting it over my head. I'm gonna have to make a call to Brennan before we actually get into this because I have 0, let me repeat, 0 experience pouring soft plastic baits. There it is. There is our gold flake for that Mango Magic. That is awesome. And there is the other one, our purple flake. Now that's gonna be really cool because I'm gonna make a lot of that Mango Magic color, but that purple flake is also really good in like that watermelon or in that darker green pumpkin style color. Like a green pumpkin purple is a really, really popular color as well. Then I have some light purple. This looks like a little bit bigger size flake. Okay, so this is 0.4 flake, which is significantly larger than this 0.15 flake. I'm not gonna open that up because knowing me, I'm gonna drop it or something. And copper, 0.4 flake. Ooh, red for like watermelon red. Oh, I am so stoked on those colors. A bunch of golds, a bunch of purples, and then this red. This is gonna be really unique for watermelon red, which fish really like when they're keying in on perch. And then some accessories. Oh, I do know what he sent me. These right here, these are called tube inserts. Okay, so I have a 1 1/4 inch tube insert and a 1 inch tube insert. I'm guessing, based on this, that there is a tube mold in this box. That is awesome. And this is basically an 18 strand tube spline. So if I get this thing out of here, this is what's going to help me put the tails on those tubes. Dude, I am beyond stoked about this. Look at that. That's gonna go either on the mold or I gotta learn about this. It's gonna go somewhere, probably screw into the back of this, and then I'm gonna be able to pour my own tubes. I can literally, with this equipment here, pour my own tube baits rather than having to buy them. How insanely cool is that? That is sweet. Okay, I'm super stoked. Now we have our injector. This is a single injector. It's a medium size. Perfect. Oh man, these are all of the molds. Okay, so as we figured, this here is the tube mold. He didn't tell me that he was sending this, but I am so glad that he did. Because a tube is such a classic smallmouth bait, and when you're fishing a tube and they're on that tube bite, you go through so many tubes. Fishing it around rocks, fishing it down there along the bottom. Holy moly, guys. This is gonna be so sweet. So here is a tube mold. Next up in this bag, or in this little container right here, the 3.5 inch swim shad mold. So remember that bait that I showed you guys that he sent to me, already poured in those laminate colors. This one right here, small little swim bait. We also got the mold for this thing. So I can shoot my own. And what's so cool about this is I can shoot whatever colors I want. What I think I'm gonna do is shoot a bunch of these in a goby style color, like a Mango Magic color. And the reason that's gonna work so well is because I can put this on a wobble head or put this on, you know, a small little swim bait head, fish it closer to the bottom, make it look like a goby kicking and scooting along the bottom, and catch a lot of fish on that. And that's the thing that I don't think a lot of people realize, or that I think is really unique, is being able to fish a swim bait near the bottom, making it look like a goby. A swim bait doesn't always necessarily have to be up off the bottom to imitate like a bait fish. The closer you get it to the bottom, you can imitate gobies, you can imitate different types of forage that are swimming and crawling along the bottom, and it just looks super natural. So man, oh man, I am stoked on that. This is the 3.5-inch mold with a bunch of the baits that he sent me here in this plastic bag. The next one, Midwest Finesse mold. You guys know that I love to fish a Ned rig. I love to fish a Ned rig even more than fishing a tube, but there's a time and place where both of those are gonna work. And so having a Midwest Finesse jig mold or Midwest Finesse bait mold is going to be so awesome because I can pour specific colors that work on my own bodies of water. And this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is an 8 cavity mold. So I can shoot 8 Midwest Finesse jigs or 8 Midwest Finesse baits at one time. This is a must-have if you're a smallmouth fisherman. You need to have some sort of Ned rig bait on deck ready to go. This mold right here is another one that I think has kind of been overlooked, especially in recent years. We've heard a whole bunch of different things about all these new types of drop shot baits, and you guys know that I am a fanatic for drop shotting. Well, this mold here is similar to one of the most popular drop shot molds in recent history, and that is the Crosstail Shad by Jackal. Well, this is Do It Mold's version of the Crosstail. What's sweet, this shoots 10 at a time, flat-sided baits. This is going to make an awesome drop shot bait. The Crosstail bait is so cool because it can be really finesse, or you can fish it a little bit faster, and this 3.5-inch Crosstail is one of the best all-time drop shot baits that a lot of people kind of have forgotten about as new drop shot baits come along, but the Crosstail is still a classic bait that catches a lot of fish. Anyone that fishes up north, anyone that fishes Erie or St. Clair or any of these Great Lakes or giant smallmouth bodies of water knows that a Crosstail is still a really, really powerful bait. This is actually the mold that made me reach out to Do It and say, guys, would you mind helping me get started in pouring plastic? This is the mold right here. Because this to me is a bait that if I would have had when Alex was up here, I could have used to absolutely smash bedfish. The Zipper Goby mold. This is basically very similar to the old school Erie Darter. Now, Poor Boy's company used to make a bait called an Erie Darter. Really soft plastic, had an awesome movement. You could put it on a jig head, you could put it on a Ned rig, you could put it on a drop shot, just a really awesome bait that would kind of imitate a goby or imitate a variety of different types of forage. The problem was they changed up their molds and all their baits got really hard. Well, having a Zipper Goby mold allows me to now make these for myself, make them with a soft plastic, and get them exactly the color that I want. Holy smokes, guys. That is 5 molds. We got the Midwest Finesse mold, the Swimming mold, the Tube mold, Crosstail mold, and the Ned rig mold. How insane is that? I am super stoked to share with you guys my plastic making journey. There's a lot of things in here that I didn't expect. There's some really cool things that I'm excited to show you guys, like that Zipper Goby mold, like that Crosstail mold, and I just cannot wait to go on this journey with you guys. I have a lot of learning to do. I'm gonna have to make a couple phone calls before I start pouring this stuff to my buddy Ron and to my buddy Brennan over at Do It Molds, because they are really the dudes that know what they're doing with this stuff. So I need a little bit of a head start, a little bit of information before I actually start pouring these baits through here. Super appreciative. Thank you guys at Do It Molds. Brennan, if you're watching this, man, I really, really appreciate it. Like, this is insane to me. But if you guys want to check out any of this stuff, some of the best companies on the market with soft plastic baits or lead jigs, as you guys have seen, is Do It Molds. They make a ton of different types of molds, a ton of different types of baits. And I'm going to share with you guys my journey in making soft plastics, as well as you guys have already seen the customization that I do with my hard baits and my jig heads. So any questions or comments, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys, as always, for continuing to grow this community and continuing to grow this channel. As always, thank you guys for watching. Take care, tight lines. God bless. Pursue passion.